Hey folks, Nas here with a new Pax Day video. I told you earlier in the week when the patch 4 dropped, or verse 4 dropped, that we take a little more in-depth look at some of the particular items and stuff. So with this video, we're going to talk about the new lobby and the character creator and stuff, and look over the changes that they've made in that. Hopefully it won't be too long of a video, and get you back to what you want to be doing. So you can see here the lobbies definitely all changed. Kind of motes of magic or something there, perhaps in the air. Uh, the slit in the back, it almost looks like we're running through one of the gates in between the the valley or provinces, I guess. So and then we have our characters here, looking very splendid and very high detailed renderings of our armor and stuff. You can still see that there's a few little nitpicky things. You can see like my chest piece is still, it's kind of bleeding through my bracer there. Um, the weapon belt is bleeding through the tabard, or vice versa. I guess the tabard is actually bleeding through the weapon belt where the piece hangs down there. Um, you can't turn your character in this screen, which I felt like we used to be able to do that, and maybe I'm just misremembering. I'm not sure, but yeah, you can kind of click through, uh, seeing the different stuff. He's an alt that I use for mining uh, granite and limestone and gathering flax and stuff for me. So if we were going to jump in, we just hit enter world and go on about our business. They've added this here for deleting old characters. You can do the left alt plus your E to delete, and that'll pop up, and then you type in delete in all caps to get rid of the character. So let's go ahead and we'll hit create character, and your first thing you're going to get, and I guess this is the room where all of your characters and stuff were standing in. There's the slit. You can kind of see the little Pax Day symbol back there glowing. You can see the motes um, floating in the air and stuff. It's kind of cool. So we'll go US and Apollo, hit continue. And then we start with our characters. One thing to note is they've kind of separated the female from the male characters. It used to be in this thing that they were all just, hodgepodge, all mixed up together and stuff. Now basically you get 12 female characters and 12 male characters to start with. And there's no more, you used to be able to click a button and it'd be like, you see more type of thing. Basically what they've got it set now is, here's 12, take one of these and modify it, is what they're going to give you and stuff. So we'll take one of these fellas. We'll take him. So click on him, hit continue, and from here, this is similar to what we had before, where you can pick your body size and stuff. You can uncheck or you can check the hide clothing so you can see the physique, so you can kind of see how it affects and stuff. Going to rib cage to dad bod, muscular to weak. You still can't change your height, but you can basically change your build. So we'll leave it dead center, put our clothes back on, and we'll move on to the base face. This is pretty much similar to what we had before. Some different body or different face base, I guess, to start with. And from there, we'll pick one. We'll go with this guy here. And then we'll go into the face detail, and from here is where we make a lot of changes. With brow, you can, here at least you can turn your head at least, so you can change your brow a little bit. If you look carefully, you can see like right around your eyebrows, kind of popping out, going back in. Same with the width. A lot of these changes are really minuscule, what you can do. So you're not going to make anything like too grotesque looking, so the brows, we got our eyes, the eye spacing, you can kind of narrow them up a little bit, widen them out a little bit. You're not going to be able to take your eyes and like make a cyclops, or put your eyes out on your ears or something like that. So minute tweaks, eye height, you can slide your eyes up and down a little bit on your face. You've got the bags, you can put bags under your eyes if you want to. Maybe you're up all night mining pure iron somewhere, the dark bags under your eyes as well. So for the nose, you can, I think it's a little bit better if we turn sideways a little bit, so you can kind of turn the nose up and down a little bit, change the tip size, so a little small dinky nose to something more bulbous, tip in and out. That kind of basically pulls the nose away from the face. The bridge in and out, you can put that bump that all the models wind up getting shaved off. Same with the width, you can change the width of the nose bridge, up and down, kind of the same thing. You can turn sideways, you can see it a little bit more. Then you have some stuff to change the nostrils, and then you can this is probably where you could probably really get grotesque with it, I guess, is the nose height. And you can pull the nose up to the point where like maybe you're in France sniffing for truffles or something. I'm not sure what is going on. You do that, and then maybe take the nose and do like that. Yeah, not so much. So from there we can go down to the cheeks. So the same kind of deal as before. You can change, add a little more line to the face with the cheeks, the width, width. Oops. Sometimes I find that I can't actually click on the the sliders a little bit. So upper cheek width. So and then we have ears. With the ears, you can change. It's kind of hard to see with the hair I have. Let's jump down to hair real quick. Give him a buzz cut so you can see. Wow, the hair makes a huge difference to that dude, doesn't it? So back to the face detail. Where were we? Ears. Here we go. So with the angle, how far do your ears stick out away from your head, and then lean is basically at the top. How far does your ears lean out from your head, and then you can change the size as well. The mouth, it's pretty much the same kind of thing. Make your mouth a little bit wider, up and down. I don't know how much change that makes, in and out. So you can be all pouty lipped, I guess. Probably have to change the background there. Upper width. You can see I'm clicking and not dragging stuff. So you can change your mouth a little bit there. I don't know what this nasolabial fold is. I'm not seeing anything changing. So have no idea. I'm gonna have to look that up, Google it, see what they're talking about there. So we have our jawline. You can change your chin a little bit, jaw height, width. You can, hey, I'm a squirrel and I'm gathering nuts for the winter kind of thing going on. The big thing, I think, as far as changing where your character looks, is the age thing. You can really, start adding in some creases and stuff when you go way out there, and then the flushness. You've had a really rough day, so you can kind of play around with that sort of stuff. From there, we get into the stuff we had before with the skin appearance. You can change the color of the skin a little bit. Freckles, no freckles, intensity of the freckles. We have our tattoos, if you want to add our tattoos, like that. We have the hair, we have the same hairstyles I think we had before. So dude has a serious bowl cut going on. So somebody used a mixing bowl on his head when they cut it. So beards. This is one thing where I saw they made a difference. I think, at least I feel like they made a difference here. They separated the beard and the mustache. So you got the the little chin goatee here, but then you could go in and add a fine mustache to go with his goatee. So, and you can change the color a little bit for them as you need to. Your eye color, pretty much the same. You can change eye colors, iris size, pupil size. Eyebrows, most of the same options as before. Eyeshadow, if you're representing or something, I don't know what you're doing here. I don't have it. Oh, there we go. So whatever you want to do, add a little blue to your eyes. Just make sure it matches. Same with your eyeliner, and then the lips is pretty much a lipstick kind of play on things. So, and you have all the changes for that. So, one thing that they don't show that was here when we looked at when we were looking at the announcement for verse 4, and they were talking about the character thing. And let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah. So here you can see this is an image that was in the announcement for when they said verse 4 was coming. One of the things that shows up is the personality. And I thought that was going to be more of a as your character standing around, what kind of kind of emotion was your character portraying as they were standing around, while you're out in the dungeon or waiting for folks to show up or something like that. I kind of thought that maybe that was coming, and maybe it still is. They just when they took their screenshots and stuff, they were working off of a newer build than what we actually got. So maybe the personality is something we'll see later on in another part for verse 4. So yeah, so there's that. And then we go back to here. So if we take this, we hit confirm. Normally you'd put in your name. We'll just Kellen Works. We're going to confirm our name, and from here they have a whole new map set up for how you pick your province and your valleys and stuff. I like this map. I kind of wish we get this map in game versus the one that we had. This is in my opinion, is a much prettier map, and I feel like it has more detail, and I think you can see the relief in the elevations and stuff more. But it is what it is. The one thing that I think that, hey guys, mainframe, if you're seeing this, the little round X thing that says, hey, you can't have your character created in the wildlands, you might want to fix that. So yeah, you just pick whatever valley you want. Let's go to Turson per se. I have no idea why I'm picking Turson. And then we hit create character. And then we get our this is kind of like a little tutorial that they added to the game. And, it just breaks down some information. And at any point you could, I guess you can't. I was going to say you could just skip through it, but apparently they want you to actually pay attention. So just kind of giving you a little overview of the game, what's going on, talking about Into the Wilds, When Banners Rise, talking about PvP and what's coming with the feudal system, and then making bonds that last. That is one of the things I love best about these types of games, are the friends that you meet along the way, and that's that to me speaks more to the type of game and how good the game is more than anything is the type of friends and stuff you make. So we're talking about allies and friendships and the legacy you carve together that will be remembered. And somebody brought a goat to the party, and there's a badger. So, so once you're done with all of that, you hit OK, and you come into the game. And then you pop in at the Petra and we are in Turson. You can see the little note. Well, it pops up here. See Blessed Meadow, Turson biome, and up there with the compass and stuff. So we're here. We have our all of our tool sets. Here's the Petra storage, so you can buy some inventory slots and stuff if need be. All of your not all of the uh, crafters are here. There isn't an alchemy table. There isn't. There was something else the other day. Before there wasn't a founder's table, and they remedied that by. Oh, there it is. It's kind of hard to see in the dark. The log workbench. If you hit the log workbench now, you'll see that they've added all the founder stuff to the workbench, so you can make your clothes there. The sconces, the wind vane, not the tabards, tapestries, those type of things. So those can now be made at the workbench. That was one of the things that came with verse 4. So there's a campfire. Campfire you can do meat chunks. So the campfire allows you to do some charcuterie and some the stuff that you would get off of the cooking, not the hearth, but the spit. So you can do some of the meat chunk recipes and stuff from here. We've got a weaponsmith table, armor table, the forge. Over here, we're going to have the tailoring table, fletching, a spinning wheel, and a leather working table. And that's pretty much all you're going to have access to. I mean, there is a chopping block. That's pretty much it. So this will be how you come into the game. And then here's the Petra itself. So, and from there you can move on out and create your own world. So there's the character creator. There's the new tutorial per se. I know there's more stuff they want to add to the tutorial. So, and I know they're looking for feedback. So, as with everything in this game, where we're in early access, and I'm sure this will go beyond early access. If you have suggestions, you had comments about things, go ahead and hit the Discord, drop in some comments and stuff, give them feedback, give them worthwhile feedback. Don't go in and say, hey, the location of the chopping block is stupid. Explain why it's not what you think it should be, or maybe you don't like the hairstyles and stuff. So whichever it is, just make sure you give some worthwhile feedback when you're doing that. So with that, I will let you get back to whatever you're doing. Hopefully playing Pax Dei, and we'll be back with some more stuff. I think I'm going to cover some of the recipes that were changed, like the new RP clothes and stuff. We'll go over that stuff kind of quick. We'll do a little, Nos won't be on the catwalk, but he will be showing what some of the stuff looks like for you and show you the recipes and stuff. So with that, hope you have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Be nice.